This is a somewhat pointless video of Dupont Circle, mainly the architecture in Dupont Circle. And I'm doing it partly just because I was here today and noticed how interesting some of the buildings look. Buildings I've been in or have been around for like 30 years, but I just noticed how interesting they are. This is called Bistro du Coin. It's a French restaurant. It has these big glass door window things. They actually open. They take that flower box away and those open. And what's interesting about it is, I was just talking to some really young writers at Reason Magazine, which is across the street. And I just realized because they've only been here for 5 or 10 years, they didn't realize this used to be a restaurant called Food for Thought that was basically vegetarian, and they didn't accept credit cards. It's where everybody went who kind of like going to alternative things. And it used to have these really aggressive musicians who would play in the back, like kind of lesbian folk music, who would then come around and panhandle at the tables. And now it's this French restaurant that, of course, takes credit cards and serves meat and doesn't have music. Ahead, the kind of 19th century looking, turn of the century looking building with the turret. I don't remember what it was before, but now it's called the Russia House. So a lot of Russians have moved in there, and they have a bar and restaurant. This behemoth building across the street that takes up an entire block is called the Universal North Building, and it's got a whole lot of offices in it. But among other offices, it has Ralph Nader's. A bunch of his entities are there or used to be there. And in fact, there's a post office on the side of it. And if you go stand in line at the post office, Ralph Nader is frequently there behind the man. So, apparently is the kind of people employer who doesn't pay very much, is harsh with his employees, and I've known people, lawyers and non-lawyers, who were there working either as lawyers or secretaries. So this is Dupont Circle. It has this interesting mix of architecture. I'm walking in the median. Hopefully no cars will actually hit me. Here's Reason Magazine. You can see their little office. This is where they moved. That's just their door. They're actually upstairs on the second floor in those windows. This is a very old restaurant that's been here forever, City Lights of China. It's actually downstairs. You can see on this side, sort of get a feel for the variety of the architecture. I'm almost out of juice, and it's not a particularly sunny good day to do this, but for some reason it struck me as an entertaining diversion to do this right now for 10 days. There you can see where the Connecticut Avenue, which is what we're on, actually goes underground and goes under the traffic circle. That's kind of rare in DC. There are some other traffic circles where the street actually goes under the traffic circle as well as around it, so that people who don't need to get off on one of the spoke streets but just want to continue on Connecticut Avenue would just go underground. But it's not all that common. A lot of the stores and restaurants in this block have actually been here for a good while now. Here's the inevitable Starbucks. There are 3 or 4 of them in Dupont Circle alone. There's one here, there's one right down on this side of the circle. Ahead, you can't see it, but it's there. And there's one on the other side of the circle. This place called La Tomate has been here forever. I don't think the food is particularly good. A fascinating building is this huge 19th century looking mansion, monstrosity right there. That is the Church of Scientology in DC. Although they now own another building in Dupont Circle. They bought a large office building that's beside one of the environmental lobbies, which owns a whole nest of large office buildings over at 16th and O. Here you can actually see the Church of Scientology sign. Well, there's a weird cross. I didn't know that they incorporated a cross. I didn't think they were that Christian. or even, pseudo-Christian. I actually went to this building when it belonged to somebody else. In fact, I think maybe it was called the Buoy Monger. Maybe it was a restaurant. I don't know. Anyway, it belonged to somebody else in the early 80s. And Normal, the National Organization for Reform of Marijuana Laws, had a party here that a bunch